when I decided to move away from traditional training methods, stopped teaching people perfect movements, and instead began designing environments filled with pressure and problems where they must find their own solutions and develop real skills, training combat in authentic fighting conditions guided by the philosophy of ecological dynamics and CLA. Here's what happened. Many people quit, but those who stayed developed incredible skill in a remarkably short time. The beginning of transformation. I strive for perfection. I've always been captivated by the beauty of movement and worked hard to make my club known for technical excellence. But I realized that no matter how beautiful the technique is, it's not always effective. For a long time, I couldn't find an answer to that contradiction until I watched a video featuring people achieving great results. Strength and conditioning coach and sports scientist Mladen Jovanovic, in conversation with Serbia's top MMA coach, and arguably beyond, Nemanja Milosevic, mentioned CLA, Ecological Dynamics, and skill acquisition. That's when I truly understood that there's a far more effective way to design training. From that day forward, everything changed. I immediately shifted my training approach. The main flaw of traditional training is that it teaches movement while neglecting skill. And skill isn't taught, it's acquired. If you want to become skilled at something, you need to spend a lot of time doing it. Specifically, if you spend time practicing a movement, you'll become good at executing that movement. But if you hit pads well and make it look impressive, that doesn't mean you'll perform well in a fight. Why? Because in a fight, no one stands still and lets you execute everything you've planned. The deeper I explored ecological dynamics and CLA, the more convinced I became that changing my training approach was the right decision, even though it came with many challenges. Quitting. Natural selection. Combat sports aren't for everyone. Not everyone can handle pressure, confront fear, and fight a real person, not a bag, not a pad, an actual human being. The Eco and CLA approach created natural selection from the very beginning. It separated the pretenders from the true fighters. Designing an environment based on authentic combat principles eliminated those lacking genuine fighting spirit. People quit because it was hard, because they didn't want to fight, and that's okay. But it wasn't great for the club's financial situation. Still, not for a moment did I consider going back to the old way, because I quickly saw the skill level in the club rising. Effective training. Guided by the EKO and CLA approach, training sessions became significantly more effective. From the first to the last minute, we focused on acquiring real fighting skill. Warm-ups that used to involve running, jumping rope, and similar activities were replaced with shoulder sparring, movement drills, and distance management. Not a single minute of training strayed from the combat concept. What used to be technique in pairs is now problem-solving in realistic conditions. Example: traditional versus eco-traditional approach. Partner combinations. Combination, jab, cross, step back. Fighter 1 executes the combination. Fighter 2 holds pads. What is Fighter 1 working on? What is Fighter 2 working on? Fighter 1 focuses on punch power and movement, while Fighter 2 focuses on holding pads. Eco. Approach. Games. Tasks in real conditions. Fighter 1 must deliver 2 strikes and exit the striking zone without being touched. Fighter 2 must defend and counterattack. What are they working on? Fighter 1 works on strike preparation, closing distance, and effective execution. Fighter 2 works on active defense and countering. Both are working on skill. So I ask you, which principle seems more effective for real combat? Results of changing the training approach. After a certain period, I noticed a massive improvement in skill. Results followed, and those results attracted new members. New members were inspired by the abilities of the active fighters. Conclusion: if you want to become skilled in fighting, you have to fight. Fighters who remained in the CLA environment demonstrated a significantly greater ability to adapt, read their opponents, and respond in real time, which is the essence of combat sports. Instead of showing them how to strike, I place them in situations where they must decide when, how, and why to strike. The environment teaches them, not me. I no longer see myself as someone who transfers knowledge, but as someone who creates conditions for learning. The coach becomes a designer of the environment, and the fighter becomes the creator of their own skill. Ecological dynamics is not just a method, it's a philosophy that brings fighting back into training. Although it requires courage and a shift in paradigm, the results speak for themselves.